The Skaven fled down the tunnel, the wanton destruction of the Oryx that they had brought upon their lair, causing the engineers to flee as they shoved their slave rat minions into the fray to stop the pursuing monstrosities. They had it though, the Emberstone was in their possession, the rock radiating visible heat from the backs of them slung over as it was. With a deafening roar through the screams of the slave rats that slowly quietened and then, with one last screech, ended abruptly. The Oryx had finally killed the last of the vermin, standing atop mountains of their dead. The Oryx spied the passage the Rat Lords had used to escape and then hurled themselves down into the tunnel, and battle was joined in Warhammer Underworlds Emberguard. In today's game, we're going to be playing a Warhammer Underworlds Rivals format game. Now, in the Rivals format, players pick a pre-built 32 card deck known as a Rivals deck. A player's Rival deck is made from cards that only feature that deck's unique symbol denoted in the top right-hand corner of each card, which means if you have at least one Rivals deck and one Warband from the list below if you're going to a competitive scene, or you can use pretty much anything you want in a less organised setting, you have everything you need to join in with this format. In today's game, I'm going to be playing with Ironskull's Boyz. In today's game, I'm going to be going with the Grand Alliance Destruction Cunning rules. This means inspire by when a friendly fighter at the end of an activation step is adjacent to a damaged enemy fighter. The Cunning ability allows me to discard upgrades on my leader to draw ploy cards from my discard pile and put them back into my hand. Meanwhile, I've got the ability to boost up some of my attacks if my enemy's flanked or surrounded. I've got sneaky traps to build some stagger hexes around one of my fighters, and this is my turf mate means I can also push enemies off as if I'd rolled more crits than them in an attack. Fighter wise, I've got 4 fighters that are all pretty solid. I've got a 4 health on most of them, a defensive 1 on them, and a decent amount of damage, with 2 damage coming out of the majority of fighters and 3 coming out of Gerzag himself. Now, they are only 3 hex move, that's probably the biggest downside, and they don't generally roll a lot of dice in their attacks, but they do, as I said, hit pretty hard. Now, when I inspire with these fighters, I'll get a bunch of different abilities on their attacks. First of all, Bone Cutter does go up to damage 3, which is really nice, but I get things like Ensnare and all of that to ignore a bunch of different symbols when these fighters go in attack. Each of them sort of specialising in their own way to destroy your opponent's sort of shields on some of them, your dodges on some, and your supports on others. For my deck today, I'm playing with Emberstone Sentinels. This is a deck that wants me to go hold and capture objectives. I think this can be a really interesting one with Ironskull's Boyz, as I'm going to be looking to sort of try and push up and gain objectives that I'm going to try and place higher up the table. Howie today is going to be playing with Zikkit's Tunnelpack. Zikkit's Tunnelpack have their own unique special rules. First of all, the Inspire, where after an action step, if a friendly fighter was dealt damage or slain, you can inspire one of your other friendly fighters. More power is the thing where they can supercharge their abilities at the potential of blowing themselves up. And you've also got some other cool abilities, from the ability to blow up your tiny little rat bomb model to Skitter, which allows you to have some extra models move in other facets of the game. Fighter wise, you are led by Zikkit himself. You've got a 2 dodge fighter as your leader, which is pretty nice all up. You've also got 4 move on a majority of your fighters, though Ritak does only have 3 to begin with. And you've got some decent damage across the board, with Ritak doing 3 damage at base. You've also got a lot of dice going into your other attacks, even though they are only damage 1. Now, when you inspire with a bunch of your fighters, you are going to get some extra move, first of all, on Ritak. Most importantly, you're going to get some extra dice in a bunch of your different attacks. And you are also going to get some extra damage on Critic as well, which is really nice. This is generally just going to make your Skaven able to dodge a lot better, with most of them going up a point of defense in dodge, which is really nice to dodge 2. Now, in today's game, Howie is going to play with a countdown to Cataclysm. This is one of many decks that has its own unique sort of special rule that goes along with the decks, and this is its tracker. Now, the tracker here is called the Cataclysm Tracker, and it starts at a value of 1, and it will increase throughout the course of the game. You get to increase this each time a fighter is slain in the combat phase, and you can also advance the Cataclysm Tracker 1 step after the last power step in each battle round for each feature token that has no enemy fighters on it. Card listing here for this deck. This is a deck that plays really interesting. You have sort of affect the board with a bunch of your things, want to force your opponent to have to go and control objectives even if they don't want to. Just allows you to play in a load of different ways. It's a really interesting deck, and that Cataclysm counter also will make a bunch of these cards better as it gets used. And so we are all deployed down on the table. So for Ironskull's boys, I have Gerzag Ironskull there himself, Bonecutter just in front of him with Hacker on the flank and Basher on the other. Meanwhile, you've got Zikkit over on the far flank. You have Niche there. You've then got Tick Tick and Critter with Rittic on the other flank. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest of the Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. And so we go priority for round one. I got a crit, you got a hammer, so I'm gonna choose to take it. And my first action, as you might guess by my deployment, is gonna be a charge. And so made a charge there with Basher. And with that, I am also gonna use my once per game ability called This Is My Turf, Mate. So what that does is allows me, regardless of what my attack roll is, I count as having rolled more crits, so I can push you back at all times. I need cross swords on this. That'll be one success. And so you need a shield. Got a crit, so it is a success. However, I do count as, so no damage will be dealt, but I do count as having dealt more damage, so I will push you back. And after doing that, I'm then going to play a card called Settle In. This means I can pick someone on a feature token. Objectives are feature tokens, and I can give them a guard token. And so you're then going to play Sunder the Realm. You roll a number of attack dice equal to Cataclysm for each fighter within 1 hex of neutral territory. On a hammer or crit, inflict a damage. No. So starting with Basher, no. On Bonecutter in the center there, no. And on Hacker on the far flank, yes. Niche is then just going to throw a bomb at Hacker there. And so looking for hammers. I got one. Hacker then needs a shield. Nope, dodge won't do it. Alright, so after you've pushed me back one, you're then going to play improvised attack. You pick friendly fighter and you can make an attack that exceeds your Cataclysm value. You're going to do on the opposite flank there, trying to go at, that is Basher. So, 1 dice needing hammers. No. Nope. I'm then going to play Sidestep. I can pick a friendly fighter and push them 1 hex. So I'm back to where I was with Hacker. So that'll go into mine, which you'll be surprised is going to be a charge from Hacker this time. So 4 attack dice, then needing cross swords. 2 successes.
Oh, I've only got 1 dice.
And so that's going to definitely succeed then. 1 dice, no. Nope. So 2 damage. And so because he is now adjacent to someone, he will inspire because you're damaged. You then had someone get damaged, so you get to inspire. You're going to inspire Zikkit at the back there. So you are going to play Raging Tremors, where you pick a number of enemy fighters up to Cataclysm and can put a stagger on them. Yep, stagger token will be going on Hacker there, meaning you can reroll 1 attack dice against him. Yep, you're then going to make a charge with Zikkit there. So looking for hammers, you can reroll 1 of these. Which you need to. You got 1 success.
Got 1 success.
What we'll do. And so looks like probably going to go down here. So 1 dice, crit. I'm then going to have a move as my next action, which will be Bonecutter, just going 1, 2, 3. And so because he's ending the move adjacent to someone that is damaged, he will inspire now as well. And so we go to the 3rd action for Zikkit's Tunnelpack. You're then going to make a charge, running away, but then throwing the bomb. So needing hammers. Got 1. Bonecutter needs shields. Got a crit, so that will succeed. Right, you're going to play Total Collapse. You can roll a number of attack dice equal to your Cataclysm value, which is 1. Any crosswords or crit, you can pick a fighter and inflict a damage on them. No, that's a hammer. We go into my last action for round 1, which will just be another move with Bone Cutter. Just moving up the back there, and that'll be it. I've got no cards to play. Yep, so Ritak is going to make a charge then into Basher. Straight forward there. So 3 dice needing cross swords. Nothing. And so end of round scoring. First of all, I'm going to get hold objective token 5, which is the one at the back corner there. But I'm also going to score slow advance at the end of the turn. A score that's in the end phase if a warband holds treasure tokens in both neutral and enemy territory. And so then after gaining that glory, I'm then going to play Sharp Reflexes. This is going to go on Bone Cutter, giving him a +1 save. And so here's how the board looks. We are going into priority for turn 2 for the Orcs. I got a hammer, got support, so I'm going to get the turn again. Alrighty, so we are then going to make an attack with Bone Cutter to start the round off. So we get 2 dice. We are ignoring all supports. We need hammers. That is a double success.
Only got 1 dice.
So he's dead. I can't push you back. I can't follow up into square, but
doesn't matter.
That kills you. So there will be nothing more from that. That's the end of me. You're then going to play Burnout on Zikkit. Pick a friendly fighter, you give that fighter a stagger token, then draw 2 power cards. If the underdog, however, which you are, you can draw 3 power cards instead. Yep, you're doing a charge super action with a Kritik. He's going to charge into Basher there. And then you, once per game, are going to use a Skritter ability to make someone else move.
2, 3, 4.
Moving over there with Skritter. So back to Kritik, charging. Looking for swords.
With support.
With support. You can also do Savage Blow while you do this attack, so this just means double supports count as well. So pretty much anything except hammers is what you're looking for. That'll be 2 successes. I will get 1 thing, so you can push and follow up if you want. Now, I am going to score Unassailable as well after you do that, because I scored this immediately after an enemy fighter's attack if the target was holding a treasure token. I don't have to be, I just was. My second action for the round is actually going to be a move. Gonna move Basher down there. And then we'll actually move down to there with our move. Yep, we're going to end there with our movement. So there'll be no other cards for me. No, we are going to go there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my once per game ability of Sneaky Traps, making all hexes around him count as stagger hexes. So you move in base contact with him, you're going to get staggered. Alright, next, Zikkit is going to take a swing into Bone Cutter. Alrighty, so...
Looking for hammers.
Hammers. That is nothing. Wow, nothing. A big fail there on Zikkit. I mean, he's looking down at a giant orc with an axe swinging at his head, but yep, nothing there. After you do that, I am then just going to play Healing Potion, picking a friendly fighter and healing them. Then my third action will then be a move down to here with Basher. And then after that, I'm going to play Hold the Line. Fighters cannot be driven back, and this will persist until the end of the next action step. And so over to your third action. Going to have another swing with Zikkit. Go for it. Needing hammers. Supports are in there still.
That's better.
2. I need shields and crits. No, just 1.
Bad.
Alright, so I do take the damage, which is 2, correct?
2 damage, yep.
And then you can push me back. And just push Bone Cutter back to there. And my last action for the round is just going to be a move with Gerzag. Moving up onto the objective there. We will play Stubborn to the end, and this is going to go on Basher. Stops you being able to overrun.
My last one.
So into your last action for the round. So Retak charges in there into Bone Cutter. Cross swords to succeed. Supports are helping here. That'll be 2.
2 successes.
Can I stop it? No. And that will take a Bone Cutter down. I'm going to play an upgrade of Brute Momentum. This is going to go on Gurz. And then Zikkit is going to get Great Fortitude and get an extra health. Then end of round, I will score Iron Grasp. I score this in the end phase if your warband holds all of the treasure tokens in either friendly or enemy. I hold all of them in friendly. You're going to score Wreckers. You score this in the end phase if the number of damaged and or slain enemy fighters is greater than Cataclysm. You're at Cataclysm 2. I have 2 slain and 1 fighter damaged in Basher. And then you also score Hounds of War. Scores in the end phase if 2 or more enemy fighters are slain and or damaged, and those fighters were slain in the preceding combat. They both were. So we do draw cards back up. However, I'm going to discard the upgrade that I just put on Gerzag. That's going to allow me to take a ploy out of my discard pile and put it back in my hands. You did have a couple of upgrades from before that you're going to play. First of all, Utter Conviction. The fighter's save is X, where X is your Cataclysm. That's going on Ritak. And then Bringer of Doom will go on Tick Tick. Funnily enough, it has the ability Tick Tock. After cards discarded during a combat phase, you can immediately advance a Cataclysm track at 1 step. Today's video is sponsored by the Warhammer merch shop. Want to grab some merch for your favourite Warhammer army? You can use our affiliate link down below to grab your next purchase and help support the channel at the same time. And so we're going to go priority for the last rounds. I got cross swords, you got a hammer. And so going to go first are the Tunnelpack. Yep, going to start with a move from Crit Stock. 3, 4. And just moving it back into your home zone there. So after that, you're going to play the End Is Nigh as well. So we'll go straight into rolling off for that. You need cross swords or a crit, and I have to discard a card.
Nothing.
I'm then going to play an upgrade of Great Speed, and this is going to go on Gerzag. I'm also going to play Great Strength on Gerzag, giving his fighting weapons Grievous. And so I'll go into my first action, which is going to be a charge. But immediately after I make the move part of that, I'm then going to go the extra mile, where I can play this immediately after a friendly fighter moves, push the fighter 1 hex to end on a feature. You're going to play a counter charge. You can then pick another friendly fighter and push them up to 3 hexes, though you have to end in base contact with me. Just moving Ritak in there. So Gerzag is now going to swing. He needs hammers. 2.
Oh, that's a good swing. Right,
so you cannot have shields, so that'll be 4 damage if you fail this.
I need either crits or the supports.
Crits and supports are what you're looking for.
Come on. Crits.
Double crit, that will mean. So it can push you back. No, I can't push you back because you got same amount of successes as well. We will score Aggressive Defender for that. I score this immediately after a friendly fighter's attack if I'm holding a treasure token. So you started with Violent Blast then. Kritok was next to the Stagger Hex. You get to push him 1 hex. And you get to play Too Close for Comfort, which you score immediately after your opponent's power step if each friendly fighter is within 2 hexes of any. You're literally all around Gerzag. So that will be that. Over to you. Yep, your boss is going to try and swing at Gerzag. So Rickett is going to attack into Gerzag.
Looking for swords with full support.
Yep. So yeah, got 3. So we need shields. 2. So Gerzag does take 3 damage. So my next action is actually going to be discarding some cards, 2 objectives and a power card to draw back up after that. So I am going to go with a healing potion again, and we're going to put that on Gerzag. I'll then switch things up. I can pick 2 treasure tokens and swap the positions of them. We'll then swap around 3 and 5 there. And then I'm going to also play Sidestep, which I drew back into my hand. Now I have to jump back onto the objective. And lastly, I'll play Power by the numbers. I can draw a number of power cards equal to the number of treasure tokens held by your warband. And then I will also play Agile as an upgrade on Gerzag, allowing him to reroll save dice. Alrighty, on to your turn. You're going to move Krikatok.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Over to there.
Yep.
And so that'll be you. My next turn, I don't actually want to move. I can't attack with a Gerzag. So we're going to choose to draw some cards again. And then after that, I'm going to play Great Fortitude. This is going to go on Gerzag. All right, over to your third turn.
Okay, I'm going to have to try to fill leader.
So Ritak is going to try and do it with 3 damage.
My 4th.
So you have to do this.
Swords or any supports?
Swords or any supports.
2 crits.
So 3 success. And yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. I get 2 double supports. There's nothing that will take Gerzag down. And so after that, and you're going to go Driven by Pain on crit attack. And then my last action for the round is literally just going to be to sit there. I don't want to move. And that will be the end of the game. So I'll score Hold Treasure Token 1 or 2 at the end of the round. And then you're going to score Spread Havoc as well. It scores the end phase. You get a number of glory points equal to the Cataclysm, maximum of 2. Thank you all for watching. We hope this battle report was enjoyable for you, and if you did enjoy it, please go check out some of our others in the playlist on the channel. If you have any questions, please drop a comment down below, and while you're there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join our Discord server to check out all of our future wargaming content. Thank you all.